Shalom. I'm Brother Yasef. Now, before I even get started with what I'm about to talk about, do not get this twisted. I ain't no Reverend Al Sharpton. I ain't no Reverend Jesse Jackson or no Martin Luther King. I've been a street nigga all my life. I've been living in these streets since a youngin', so this ain't coming from no middle class, none of that. It's coming from a street nigga. And I'm saying, if I can learn this and change, you can too, if you a street nigga watching this. Now, who are we? Who are we as a race of people? As a so-called African American in this foreign land? Who are we? When it comes to our race and our heritage, we don't know nothing about each other. We don't know none of that. You know what I'm saying? When we try to find out who we are, all we can get to is slavery. After that, it's a wall built. Why is that? Why can't we find who we are past slavery? A lot of us just go by our own understanding. Are we Moors? Are we the original natives? Are we African? Right? But they really don't know. So, again, who are we as a so-called African American in this foreign land? Why is there so much mystery about our history? I'm going to tell you why. Because our history is a unique one. So unique that if I showed it to you, you wouldn't even be able to deny it, which I'm about to do right now. Now, these people know this, but you don't, because they don't want you to know this. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point to a book that's been here since the beginning of man, right? And it's always been here for one specific race of people. This book is not a book of what you think it is. This is a history book. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the Holy Scriptures. Now, I already know, oh, man, you tripping me. This nigga finna go to the Bible, talking about the Bible. But it's facts, though. Now, I'm finna point it out to you. And after I point it out to you, you're going to see that I'm not tripping. Now, if you're familiar with this book, you should be familiar with Moses leading the people out of Egypt, right? So he got them up out of Egypt. Bam. When he did that, the Creator gave them specific instructions when they entered the land that they was going to. And these are the instructions. Deuteronomy chapter 7, 1 through 6. When Yahweh your Father brings you into the land you go to possess, and has thrust out many nations from in front of you, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Havites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations larger and stronger than you. And when Yahweh your Father has delivered them over to you, and you have defeated them, you must utterly destroy them. You must make no treaty with them, nor show mercy to them. You must not make marriages with them. You must not give your daughters to their sons, nor take their daughters for your son. For they will turn you away from following me to serve hinder gods, Elohim. Then Yahweh's anger will burn against you, and you will suddenly be destroyed. This is how you shall deal with them. You must destroy their altars, break down their sacred pillars, and destroy their gods in the fire. For you are a holy people unto Yahweh your Father. Yahweh your Father has chosen you to be a special people for himself, a special treasure above all the peoples of the face of the earth. Right? So those were the instructions. And that's simple, right? When you get to the land, kill everybody. Don't show them no mercy. Destroy their gods. Don't mess with the women. All of that, right? Don't do none of that. Them was his instructions. That's all they had to do, right? And just like some niggas, they did the total opposite, right? They didn't kill everybody, had sex with the women, didn't destroy their gods. In fact, they started worshiping them, right? So after that, before they did all that, he gave them another warning, right? He said in Deuteronomy 28:15, however, if you do not obey Yahweh your Father, and do not carefully follow his laws and his statutes, which I command you this day, then all these curses will come upon you. Now, listen to these curses. You can't tell me these don't sound familiar. Deuteronomy 28, verse 30. You will be engaged to be married to a woman, but another man will lie with her and sleep with her. You will build a house, but you will not live in it. You will plant a vineyard, but you will not gather its grapes. Right? Deuteronomy 32. Your sons and daughters will be given to another nation while you are looking on, and you will be powerless to lift a hand and stop it. 33. A nation whom you have not known will eat the fruit of your land and the produce of your labor, and you will have nothing but crushing oppression. Right? In this way, you will be driven mad because of the things you have seen. Now, Deuteronomy 36. Yahweh will bring you and the king whom you set over you to a nation which neither you nor your fathers have ever heard of. And there you will worship gods of wood and stone. 31. You will have sons and daughters, but you will not keep them, because they will go into captivity. Deuteronomy 48. Therefore you will serve your enemies whom Yahweh will send against you, in hunger and thirst and in dire need of everything. He will put a yoke of iron around your neck until he has destroyed you. Yahweh will bring a nation against you from far away, from the end of the earth, like an eagle swooping down. A nation whose language you will not understand. A fierce-looking nation which has no respect for the young, nor pity for the old. I'll break all that down in a minute. Now, don't that sound familiar? But I'm gonna get back to that. On them slave ships, the slave was shackled next to one another. This is known fact. If you studied this, right? They shackled to each other. They had nothing to eat on there. You know what I'm saying? So they were starving. So it came a point of time where they had killed the one next to them and eat them. That's how they did. This is known facts through history that they was eating each other in the slave ship, right? Now, wouldn't it be crazy if this book said that they was going to be doing that in the curses? Let me read this to you. Deuteronomy 28, verse 53. You will eat the fruit of your own body, the meat of your sons and your daughters whom Yahweh your father has given you, because of the suffering of your enemy, because of the suffering your enemy will inflict upon you during the siege. Siege. Keyword siege. The man among you who was previously the most soft-hearted and generous will then have no compassion for his brother, for the wife whom he loves, or for any of his surviving children. He will not give them any of the meat of the children he is eating. It will be all that he has left, because of the suffering of the enemy will inflict upon you during the siege of all your cities. The most gentle and delicate woman among you who will not venture to touch the dirt with the bottom of her foot, since she is so soft and delicate, will then begrudge the husband she loves and her own son and daughter, the afterbirth of her womb and the children she bears, for she intends to eat them secretly during the siege and the distress which your enemy will inflict upon you in your cities. What? Ain't no way you just said that. No, I'm gonna keep going, because that just broke. That's like a dagger right there, but it's a bigger dagger at the end. Hold on. 64. And Yahweh will scatter you among all the nations, from one end of the earth to the other. There you will worship gods of wood and stone, which neither you nor your fathers have known. Right? Now, here go the main dagger. At the end, Deuteronomy 29:68. Yahweh your father will bring you back to Egypt by ship, on a journey that I said you should never make again. There you will offer yourselves for sale as male and female slaves to your enemies, but no one will buy you. Now I'm going to touch on this for a minute. If you familiar with when Moses saved the people from Egypt and they crossed the Red Sea. Remember that? Moses split the water. They crossed over. And when they got on dry land, the Egyptians was chasing them. And he closed the water on them, and they all died. So all the powerful men of Egypt are dead now. Ain't no more Egypt dynasty no more. It's over with, right? So he can't be talking about Egypt. Egypt is a metaphor, because what happened to Egypt? Slavery, bondage, right? So when you twist that metaphor, or not twist it, when you really look at the metaphor, it really mean Yahweh will bring you back to slavery by shit. Damn. Right? What other people you know had their wives and sons taken from them in slavery, who had kids, but they were snatched away from them? Huh? Who else you know had a yoke of iron around their neck, where a nation that nobody else, we didn't understand their language when they got to us, came as swift as the eagle? What represent the eagle right now? When I went in the federal courtroom and I looked behind that judge, all I seen was a big-ass eagle, right? Is this a coincidence? Ain't no coincidence in the Bible. It said you will go to another land where you worship gods of wood and stone. What is wood and stone that we worship? Right now, the wood is the cross, and the stone is the dome rock of Mecca that the Muslims pray to, right? A fierce-looking nation, which has no respect for the old nor pity for the young. I know what nation that is, and you know what nation that is too. So now, who is this book talking about? Huh? Is it just a coincidence that this happened to our ancestors? Huh? Or is it because it was a biblical punishment? It's one of the two. You decide. So, this curse that we under, because we still cursed to this day. We still going through we still going through oppression to this day, no matter what nobody say, right? So, everybody like, oh, we all got to do this, that, and the third to break the curse or break this punishment. All of them is wrong. So, how do you break the curse? How do we as a people break the curse? Now, a whole bunch, you can listen to all these other Hebrews or whoever you want to about how to break the curse, right? They going by their personal mindset. They're not going by the scripture because it's in the same book on how to break the curse. And I'm going to break it down to you. Deuteronomy 30, 1 through 7. When all these things come upon you, the blessings and the curses I have sent in front of you, wherever Yahweh your Father may disperse you among the nations, then recall all these things in your memory. And when you and your children return to Yahweh your Father and obey him with all your heart and with all your soul, just as I had commanded you to do this day, the Yahweh will bring you back from captivity and have compassion upon you and gather you again from all the nations where he scattered you. If you are driven out either to the farthest land on earth, from there Yahweh your Father will gather you, and from there he will bring you. Yahweh your Father will bring you to the land that belonged to your fathers, and then you will possess it. And he will make you more wealthy and numerous than your fathers. Yahweh your Father will circumcise your heart and the hearts of your descendants, so that you may love him with all your heart and with all your soul and live. And now the killer. Then Yahweh your Father will put all these curses upon your enemies and upon those who hated and persecuted you. So, why is there so much why is there so much mystery about our history? Because they know that once you wake up and realize who you are, the same curses that was placed upon us will be placed upon them. And I'm not going on off of my own understanding. I'm going by this book that was left here for us to read. This book was only written for one specific race of people, and that's the Hebrews. We are not African Americans. We are not Negroes. We are not black. We are Hebrew. That is your race. So, the only way to break this curse is to snap out of that bullshit we own. The streets, this Tatiana music, all of that. We got to turn our heart away from the world and back on the Yah to break this curse. And all the curses will be placed upon them. Why you think they hiding there from you? They terrified. Why you think they want to kill any black leader we got to prevent the rise of a black messiah? Because they terrorized. These crackers probably watch this and be scared as hell that I know this. Like, what the? You feel what I'm saying? So, wake up, O Israel, and realize who you are. We are the mighty tribe of Judah. We are the children of Israel. You are not black, African American, nor are you African. You are Hebrew of the lost tribe. Keep tuning in to me. I got more. Shalom.